Welcome to the. Okay, so I'm proceeding. So, good morning, good evening to all the persons who have
Let's
convened
wait,
here.
Shamim.
It's a mighty
Let's wait for
timeline.
Shamim. Let's wait for 4 more minutes.
Okay, sure,
Let's start at 7.
sure. Has every squad reps presented here? Takas is yes. Team Quest Pirates is available, I think so. Okay. Hmm. Okay, Arrogance present. Team Eccentric, is there a representative present here? Okay. And Team Technocrats, okay, and Service present. Okay, right. It's around 48 members present here, right? So let's start at 7. I assume all the members are presented here. Squad representatives, please look at your members. Okay, now let's start on. Okay, so a fierce good evening to all the persons who have convened here. It's a mighty timeline of the most anticipated IEEE MESB exclusive Freshers event, MILEN 5.0. It's the time to ignite our task to MILEN 5.0. So it is named as Is My Screen Visible? So I occasionally welcome our chairperson, Mr. Amin Shahid, our executive members, our judging panel, Muhammad Musharraf and Fawad Imtiaz, also our event organizers, our dear execom members, and not last but the interviewing Marvel contestants of their respective squads. On the behalf of IEEE MESB, I invite you all to the second task of MILEN 5.0. So we are going to start our program. So I will be calling Pegasus team for their first presentation. Judges, please note the first team is Pegasus on the topic nanotechnology. Is the representative present here? Please unmute your mic.
Yes, we are ready.
Okay, so let me give you the rules and regulations one more time for your things. So we have given you 15 minutes for the presentation, 15 minutes for the entire program, 12 minutes will be for your presentation, and the rest 3 minutes will be for the Q&A session from the judges who have been convened here. So the timing will be also displayed. You guys also could present. So please start your program by introducing all your members who have presented here. I mean the presentative members. The rep has given some sort of names, reported some names who have presented. So please introduce yourself and move on. Your time starts from now. Judges, please now.
Excuse me, sorry for to interrupt. Salah, give them a minute time before just to introduce. After introduction, only start the time. Okay. Set the time for 12. Only after the introduction you start your timer. Initially, don't start the timer. Let them introduce every score. Let them introduce themselves first and start the timer. Don't
Okay.
include that in the time. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
So squad Pegasus, please introduce your squad and the members personally.
Okay, Pegasus here. We have speakers as Rasmina and Saida and...
Yes, you're audible. Please go on.
Is that audible? Hello, is that audible? Okay,
Yes, you're audible.
Pegasus here are first introducing Rasmina and Saida and Sala is our speakers, and Safwan, Sinan Muhammad, Safa, Shabiba Jebin is the content creators, and Sudeep Krishna and Shijaz and Sinan is the PDF creators. Let's carry on to the presentation.
Okay, please, the members, please personally introduce yourself.
And over the Safwan. Safwan is the core up in our team.
Hello, my name is
Hello,
Safwan.
members, I mean the participants who have presented here, please unmute yourself and introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Safwan. I'm the co-representative of Team Pegasus.
Excuse
And
me.
yeah,
Sorry to interrupt. Okay, Shamim, I think we can start on the presentation. Let them hand over the introduction while they are presenting. I think we are wasting the time with the many introductions.
Okay,
Sure.
carry on.
We are good to go. They can share the screen. While they share the screen, you can start your timer, Salah.
Okay, Sudeep,
we are good
can
to
you
go.
carry on?
Okay.
Sudeep, can you present the screen?
Hello, is it visible now?
Oh, okay, carry on.
Yes, it is visible.
Okay, thanks.
Hi all, good evening. I'm Saida from the squad Pegasus. We are going to discuss about the topic nanotechnology. Okay, let us start. Nanotechnology, making small stuff do big things. See Mr. Ralph Merkel, the computer scientist, said about nanotechnology. That is, nanotechnology is an idea that most people simply didn't believe. First of all, we want to just know what is this nanotechnology. Nanotechnology is the study of small microscopic things. Here, not the point. Although nanotechnology is the study of ultra small structures, it is not simply about making things smaller. Nanotechnology is an advance to future. It is the future of all technologies. All of you know the various fields like biology, chemistry, and physics, etc. You know, nanotechnology is a platform which includes different fields like biology, chemistry, physics, and engineering. In this nanotechnology, the word nano is derived from the Greek word laos. Its meaning is dwarf. Nano refers to 1 billionth of a physical size. If 1 meter, then a nanometer is 1 billionth of a meter. That is, 1 meter is equal to 10 raised to minus 9 nanometer. Nanoscale consists of between 100 nanometer and 1 nanometer. That is, scale is less than 100 nanometer and greater than 1 nanometer. The goal of nanotechnology is mainly to control individual atoms and molecules, especially to create computer chips and other microscopic devices. When we search about the history of nanotechnology, we can see Mr. Richard Feynman, an American physicist, is the father of nanotechnology. He lectured that there is plenty of room at the bottom. He is the inspiration for this field, nanotechnology. There is a lot of applications of nanotechnology. That is our next section. It will be handled by Rasmina.
Is Rasmina here? Please continue.
Hello, welcome everyone. I'm Rasmina from Team Pegasus. Welcome. So let's look what are the applications of nanotechnology are. The various applications include nanomedicine, nanoelectronics, and nanoagriculture. The nanomedicine, its application in medicine in nanotechnology. It evolved the use of nanoscale materials such as biocompatible nanoparticle and nanorobots for diagnosis, delivery, and sensing or activation purpose in living organisms, which include various areas like analytical and diagnostic tool, in vitro diagnostic devices, non-biosensors, microarrays. Microarrays applied in various pathological conditions like inflammation, atherosclerosis, breast cancer, colon cancer, and pulmonary fibrosis. Expression chips are used for microarray expression analysis to determine the level of volume of expression of given gene. Gene expression analysis, detection of mutation and polymorphism, sequencing, therapy follow-up, drug screening, and toxicology analyzing change in gene expression during administration of drug. These are the various applications in nanomedicine. Next come nanoelectronics. Using nanotechnology in electronic components, the term covers a diverse set of devices and materials. Some of them include hybrid molecular semiconductor electronics, one-dimensional nanotube nanowires, advanced molecular electronics. The critical dimension ranges from 1 nanometer to 100 nanometer. The nanotechnology reduces the weight, the consumption of power, thickness of the screen, increasing the intensity of memory chips. Yes, that's the best example for the nanotechnology is smartphone that we use today. Next comes the nano agriculture, which increase the agriculture production and its application include nano formulation of agrochemical for applying pesticides and fertilizers for crop improvement. Application of nano sensors to crop protection for the identification of the diseases and reduces the agrochemicals. Nano devices for the genetic engineering of plants, plant disease diagnostics, animal health, and this list go on. Nanotechnology may increase the development of biomass to fuel production. There are many scope in future for nanotechnology. Yes, future is nano or nano is future. Many new potential ideas needed to be developed from the nanotechnology and still it is in the research. And soon our life will be uphill to a different level. The prime important and under researchers like cancer cure. Nanotechnology can provide rapid and sensitive detection of cancer related molecular, enabling scientists to detect molecular changes even when they only occur at small percentage. Nanotechnology generate entirely novel and highly effective therapeutic agents. Next come the painless and affordable surgery. It makes the surgeon's life best and easier. Surgical tools like nano needles, nano surgical blades, better post-operative period by using precisely targeted delivery system for medicine. Next come the innovative electronic gadgets. So let's look some of the nano materials like fullerenes. It's autotop of carbon and connected by single and double bonds. Next come carbon nanotubes. Carbon nanotubes are tubes made up of carbon with diameter typically measured in nanometers. So let's focus on its advantages. It's really strong, stronger than steel. Example for that is graphene. Computers can become million times faster plus million times smaller too. Yes, it's the end of illness like cancer and heart diseases. So universally immunity for AIDS. So our next section on disadvantages will be handled by a co-member Sahla. So thank you everyone.
Hello everyone, I'm Sahla from Pegasus. So I'll be continuing the topic from here onwards. As we all know, everything has its own pros and cons, and unfortunately, nanotechnology is no different. Underlying risks are inevitable when technology surpasses human knowledge and understanding. So let's see what are the disadvantages of nanotechnology. First and foremost is its high cost. It is an expensive area of research and its development costs a lot of money. Next thing is its difficulty in the scale-up process of nanomedicines. The limited experiments and insufficient information on the scale-up techniques of nanomedicine hinders its introduction into the market. Other major disadvantage is its effect on human health and environment. For example, the inhalation of nanoparticles can cause lung inflammation and heart diseases. Also, its high immunogenicity can cause unwanted immune responses in humans and other animals. For nanotechnology, there is also the chances of poor targeting because of its lack of convincing proofs. Also, it is said that the high ability of nanoparticles to aggregate in biological systems can cause the Grey Goose scenario in which the nanorobes would self-replicate, cloning themselves until the entire organic world is consumed and only left with a mass of grey goo. Scary, right? But no worries, it is still not technically proved. But amidst all these disadvantages, nanotechnology is still an extremely important innovation to the future. So let's see some interesting facts about nanotechnology. A nanometer is a billionth of a meter or a millionth of a millimeter. Can you even imagine how small is that? Also, nanotechnology could provide a side effect free cancer cure, which was considered impossible until now. Bucky paper is an interesting product of nanotechnology which is made from millions of carbon nanotubes. And the fun fact is that it is 10 times lighter and 250 times stronger than steel. So we can conclude that nanotechnology is a brand new tech that has just begun. It is a revolutionary science that will change all what we know before. It is going to influence and be a part of our daily lives. We can also hope that all the disadvantages of nanotechnology could be solved in the very near future. The applications of nanotechnology is not just limited to medicine and industry, it is far beyond that. So let's hope for a better future. So here ends our presentation. I thank everyone for your attention on behalf of our squad Pegasus. Thank you everyone.
Okay, I assume that's the end of the presentation. Well done, Pegasus, Squad Pegasus. It was a remarkable presentation from your team. So I think it's time for the Q&A session. So it's time for the judges to ask a question. Our judges, Mr. Muhammad Mushraf, please.
Okay, thank you. That was a great presentation indeed. Wonderful one. A big applause to all the team members. Let me trigger my question. The question is, given this, you have said that there are many advantages and disadvantages. My question is very simple. Given all the disadvantages, yes, you said they are costly, they are very much unavailable, and they miss the targets. Giving all these disadvantages, where do you see nanotechnology yourself in the future? Maybe I will give a target as 2030. Where will you will be seeing nanotechnology in the future? I think my question is clear.
Yes, it's pretty clear. And I think I would like to take the nanotechnology to a level of nano robots doing surgery and thereby minimizing the surgery cost. And I would see nanotechnology in future like improvement in medicine.
And there is a lot of
Okay, thank you.
things in electronics based side. That means our phones like rollable display and these airports like things are innovative.
Okay, thank you. I have one more question for you. Given that currently the world is facing that e-waste is increasing day by day because electronic waste are harming the living beings. It may be underwater, on the land, or human beings, or anything. It is harming the living biodiversity. So my question is, bringing on nanotechnology into every possible ways, might be in surgical, means medical, agriculture, in any field, bringing on nanotechnology in every possible way, will it help to reduce the e-waste, or is it going to help us to become more sustainable in the technology in the upcoming future? I think my question is clear.
Yes, clear.
Yeah, it's clear. I think since it's nanoparticles, to an extent, it will decrease the e-waste or something like that. But at the same time, side effects like inflammation of lungs because it's nanoparticle and it will be penetrated deep into lungs. That can affect people health. But at the same time, the waste will be decreased. I think waste will be decreased, but at the same time, there will be health issues for the people.
Okay, you think so? Okay, pretty good. That's it, my side. Fawad, do you have any questions to ask?
So my question is simple. What are the recent advancements in nanotechnology? Can you name a few? Was my question clear?
Other members can answer to the questions.
Can you please come more?
I didn't hear you.
Can you
Judges,
repeat
please,
one
could
more?
you repeat the question?
Okay, okay. So can you name few recent advancements in the field of nanotechnology?
Judges, could you?
Yeah. me-
If they are not answered,
Hello.
okay.
Yes, proceed,
Am I
proceed.
audible?
Fawad, please proceed.
Hello.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
audible.
you
Yes,
are
you are
audible. You
audible.
can go. Go on, go on.
It's very useful. Nanotechnology is widely used in many clothing materials and many electronics up to deep level chip level. I mean chip levels. Microprocessors are based mainly on this nanotechnology, and we are working on this kind of PCs and many laptops. These are the major recent advancements by nanotechnology, I think.
Okay, so that's it.
So I assume that's the part from the judges. So let's. It was a matchless and a splendid presentation and the Q&A session from the team Squad Pegasus. So keep the strive till the end of this MILEN 5.0. All the best for your team. Thank you.
Thank you.
So let's move on to the second squad. Squad Eccentric, are you available here? Please report, the representative of Squad Eccentric.
Am I
Please unmute
audible?
your mic. Yeah, you're audible. Ajitap Krishna, you're audible.
My name is Ajitap from Eccentric. So today, me, Ajisha, Amina, and Naila are going to present this session on the topic technology in agriculture. Hello.
Okay, could you please? Okay, this is your squad, right? So
Yes.
you could. So I am just giving you the rules and regulations again. 15 minutes all around. 12 minutes for the presentation and 3 minutes for Q&A session. So team, you could proceed yourself. All the best.
Okay, let me present my screen. Is my screen visible? Hello.
Yes, your screen is visible. Proceed, please.
Okay, let me start. To introduce, agricultural revolution is one of the milestones of today's civilization. So, first of all, what is agricultural technology? It is the application of techniques used to increase the efficiency, ease the farmer's work, to control the growth and harvest of animal and plant products. Engineers are developing tools and machines to make the farmer's job a lot more easier by technologies like automation, sustainable productivity. Now let's talk about India and technology. India is always lagging behind the technology, especially in the field of agriculture, because most of the farmers use old stereotypical methods and techniques for farming. Now let's check the GDP based on agriculture. We can see that India's agriculture per capita is low when compared to countries like US, China, France, etc. One of the main reasons is due to lack of technology. So in this session, let's talk about next level innovation in farming, its impact, both negative and positive. So I'm handing the session to Ajisha. Thank you.
Hi guys, good evening. Myself Ajisha. I'm here to give you a short idea on the topic technologies in agriculture. The technologies used in agriculture helps the farmers to manage their crops very easily. One doesn't have to be an expert to see how the technology has changed the concept of farming, which made agriculture field more profitable, efficient, safer and simple. Do you know any agricultural technologies? Or have you even thought of the changes that made by the modern technologies in agriculture? Actually, there are plenty of technologies invented to enhance the agricultural sector, like drone technology, Terrasentia, IX, autonomous concept tractor, open source CNC farming machine, biotechnology, farming software, and online data, etc. are few examples of modern technologies in agriculture. So now, let me give you a brief idea on some of these technologies. So the first one is drone agriculture. An agricultural drone is an unmanned aerial vehicle used to optimize agricultural operations. Sensoring and digital imaging capabilities can give farmers a real picture of their fields. These views can assess crop growth. It uses the technologies like propulsion system, infrared cameras, GPS, etc. It helps to monitor crop health, crop planting, crop spraying, irrigation mapping, etc. Hence, drone technology is one of an important technology used in agriculture. So now, let me show you a picture of agricultural drone. Have a look on it. So the next technology is Terrasentia. It is one of the smallest agricultural robots on the market, which are 12.5 inches in width and about the same in height. It can easily move between the rows of different crops and can measure critical plant trait like stem width, leaf area index, and leaf and stem diseases, etc., with higher accuracy. Terrasentia uses a proprietary combination of sensors including RGB cameras, LIDAR, GPS, etc., to collect data. So here is the picture of Terrasentia. So our next technology is autonomous concept tractor. In many parts of the world, finding skilled labor during peak season is a constant challenge. To solve this problem, Case IH unveiled an autonomous concept tractor which is cableless. It can be remotely monitored and control machines directly by farmers or their employees. It is used in tillaging, planting, spraying, and harvesting. Through the use of LIDAR, radar, and onboard video cameras, the vehicle can sense the obstacles in front of it without the help of anyone. It offers more control, monitoring capabilities, and cost saving. Here is the picture of autonomous concept tractor. So our last and final technology that I am going to discuss here is open source CNC farming machine. This is something really crazy. We can do farming just like the game. This is a farm bot in which we can graphically design our farm. The game-like interface is very simple to learn. It will help us to select specific crop and plant it after watering. It helps to monitor the soil moisture and plant health. Harvesting can also be done. We can scare birds away while at work, take photos of our veggies, turn light on for the nighttime harvesting. It's cool, isn't it? Best of all, no coding is required and can be loaded on any computers, tablets, or any other devices. Literally, this makes farming from anywhere at any time, right? Here is the picture of open source CNC farming machine. Now, let me show you the working of TerraCentric in a video. So now let me conclude my session and the next session will be handled by our member Amina Rinsha.
Hello friends, myself Amina Rinsha. Let's see the positive impacts of technology in agriculture. Increased yield per acre, per person and per dollar relative to extensive farming. Next, food become more affordable to consumers as it costs less to produce. We can find details about plant health and thereby providing necessary supports. Can help to support spot irrigation issues or areas that are receiving too little or excessive moisture. With this information, crops can be better laid out to maximize drainage, adhere to natural land runoff, and avoid water pooling, which can damage the sensitive crop. Next, the negative impacts on technology in agriculture. The most of the technologies are in high cost, so it will be difficult for farmers to afford. Technical knowledge is required to function these machines, so not every farmers will be able to operate it, and this put them in a very competitive area. Required large amount of energy inputs to produce, transporting and applying chemical fertilizers and pesticides. Pesticides generally kill useful insects as well as those destroy the crops. Use of fertilizers can alter the nature of biology of rivers, lakes, etc. Destroys the natural habitat of most wild creatures and leads to soil erosion. Most of the farmers are illiterate, so they are unable to use the modern machines. Thank you. Let next session will hand it to Naila.
Hi all, myself Neila from Eccentric. Modern irrigation relies on machinery, as we know that engines and pumps are used vastly, and the modern techniques as we presented here like drone technology, terrasensia, autonomous tractor, and CNC farming, etc. are deliberately an idea in agricultural technology. Even though we are developing and considering many technological ideas, there are many drawbacks and advantages which were mentioned by our teammate a few minutes back. There are positive and negative impacts on agriculture by the usage of technology. We should consider the mindset and feedback of farmers. Monitoring plant health, irrigation, mapping, harvesting, etc. are operated using technologies and machineries nowadays. These all allow the agriculture sector to be more profitable, efficient, safer, and more environmental friendly. And technological innovations have greatly shaped agriculture throughout time. As time passed, more technological advances appeared in agriculture. In general, when technology attempts to solve problems of energy, space, time, etc., it is successful. In addition to providing food and raw material, it also provides employment opportunities to a very large percentage of the population. And taking everything into an account, we are concluding our presentation here. And thank you.
Okay, I assume that's the end of the presentation from the squad team Eccentric. That was a heroic and a superlative presentation from the team. So I think it's time for us to move to the Q&A session. So judges, please throw up your questions to the squad. And all the squad members,
Okay.
everyone can reply to the questions, not only the presenters.
Okay, thank you. Congratulations, Team Eccentric. That was a fabulous one. My question initially, you have mentioned in your disadvantages that illiteracy in the farmers, or the lack of knowledge. Yeah, right. No, it's very clear that the farmers over here, let's take an example in our nation, the farmers over here in India lack the knowledge to use that high-level advanced technologies, the machineries, or any other objects. So how do you think these farmers are going to operate this one? Given that you have given a project or any goal to achieve, means this much crops or this much products in the farm is to be achieved, how you are going to help the farmers? Because farmers are very low IQ nowadays from the beginning itself, and the farmers are starting to grow by day by the technology. But how you are going to assist the farmers with this technology without even knowing how to operate them? How you are going to help them? My question. I think my question is clear.
Yes, yes. So I think we as a students, we have less to do, but government can provide many classes and uh, tutorials about these machines and new technologies, because farmers have many communities inside themselves, and also government can provide these machines. As we know, make in India is growing, so these machines can be built in India and show, and the government should provide some tutorials for the farmers. That's what I think.
Okay, thank you. I have one question for you. Okay, pretty well. That was okay. Bringing on the technology in the farming or the agriculture, how let us keep this cooperative big companies who cultivates the crops and exports them or uses in the multi-level nations, or let them keep aside the normal farmers. Those are the normal farmers, small farmers. Keep the cooperative farmers aside. The normal farmers who is very congested that they cannot even pay the loan even not, they cannot even pay the loan for the crop they have cultivated over. How they are going to bring on this technology? Because the capital amount of this technology is not a joke. It's going to be a huge amount, and paying the electricity bill of this technology, or means if it is runs on electricity, okay, paying the electricity bill or anything which is related to this or operating this one, subjected to the small farmers. How do you think? Do you personally think this is going to help the farmers, or this is going to make more disturbance in the paying their loan, or pay more into suicide attempts and all that stuff? Because that's very familiar nowadays in India. Please don't take many time to the answer,
So,
because if yeah, okay.
okay,
Please
any
go on.
team member is answering, or else I will handle it.
Yeah, it's up. Please
Is there
don't
anyone?
take much.
Okay, so I will say, um, as I said earlier, we have now government is providing Make in India. So these machines can be built in India itself. And as we know, there are now Kisan credit cards. So through that, they can avail subsidies or discounts and loan with easier interest or small interest can be provided uh, as through this Kisan credit cards. So thereby we can tackle this problem of issue of resources or poverty through this Kisan credit cards or Make in India.
Okay, thank you. That's it, my side. Fawad, do you have any question? And please note, for all the members who are presenting from now, please don't take much time for answering the questions. If anything takes any lag, Shamin, you can go with the other squad. Okay, please don't take much time. And that's it from my side. Fawad, do you have any question? You can on.
Okay, so can you name any country where these technologies are being used and implemented?
Yes, as I said, top developed countries like US, China, France, these are, even though they are having less farm area or agriculture area, they're utilizing these advanced technologies for making the agricultural sector more easier and more efficient.
So assume that's from the judges part and the squad. So after the Q&A sessions, this was a matchless and a prodigious presentation and Q&A session from the squad, team eccentric. So wishing you all the best till the entire program MILEN 5.0. Thank you, team, and thank you, judges. And we are moving to the next team. Team Technocrats. Representative, are you ready here? Please unmute your mic.
Yes, you are ready.
Okay, introduce yourself and your team and move on.
Hi, I'm Sadiq from Technocrats. Our subject is e-waste management. Can we start?
Okay, so let me give you the rules and regulations. 15 minutes total, 12 minutes for the presentation and 3 minutes for the Q&A session. Your topic is e-waste management, so you could proceed now. All the best.
Okay. Thank you. Nadeem?
Is it visible now?
Nadeem, can you? No.
Sorry, wait a second. And now is it visible?
Yes. Yeah, it's visible. Proceed.
Okay, thank you.
Our subject is e-waste management. E-waste is one of the biggest problem we face in today's changing world. Along with the ever-evolving technologies, the resulting waste is causing a great deal of harm to the environment and wildlife. E-waste describes discarded electrical or electronic devices, used electronics which are designed for reuse, resale, salvage, recycling, or disposal are also considered e-waste. Informal processing e-waste in developing countries can lead to adverse human health effects and environmental pollution. Uh, Nadim, next. Nadim, can you hear?
Yeah.
Source of e-waste. It is a equipment we use in our daily lives that becomes more and more e-waste. Uh, Waste generated from the products used for data processing such as computers, computer devices like monitor, speaker, keyboards, printers, etc. like that, and also electronic devices used for entertainment and communications, like household equipments and audio visual components like uh, VCR, stereo, microwaves, cleaner, phone, TV, etc. like that. So no matter what equipment we use today, it can become a waste or a problem for the earth tomorrow, if not today. Effect of e-waste on the environment. Uncontrolled e-waste causes a lot of damage to the environment, like burning the waste will emit toxic gas in the air. Plastic burning produces black carbon, causes climate change and air pollution. Burning the waste will emit toxic air, and also toxic chemicals from e-waste enter the soil crop food pathway, as like it is contaminated the soil and it will harm to the crops and food also. There are non biodegradable and cause soil pollution. It Then e-waste dumping yards or nearby places are polluted and causes health hazards. The people lives nearby the yard will cause chronic illness and other health problems. E-waste is dumped in water bodies such as the sea, causing problems for aquatic life and aquatic plants alike. Effects of e-waste on human bodies, not just for the environment, but also e-waste is a big problem for humans and other organisms. Why? It may affect you before you born, like that lead, chromium, cadmium, mercury, plastic, including PVC. Lead, first of all, lead, it causes damage to central peripheral nervous system, blood system, and kidney damage, affects brain development of children also. Chromium, asthmatic bronchitis and DNA damage, and then cadmium, toxic irreversible effects on human health accumulated in kidney and liver, causes neural damage. Teratogenic mercury, it is chronic damage to brain and respiratory system. And at last, then plastic, including PVC, burning produces dioxin. It causes reproductive and developmental problems, immune system and immune system damage, infections and cancers. Then I would like to hand over the session for further session for Mirdas. Mirdas.
I'm Mohammed Murdas from Team Technogods. Now let we can see how these become e-waste. The following are the reason how these become e-waste. In modern society, there has now been a huge advancement in technology, and it has contributed to the piling up of e-waste. Changes in style, fashion, and status nearing the end of their useful life, not taking precaution while handling them is also a major factor. The next consequence that comes into our way is that careless and unscientific disposal. Safe disposal should be done as landfill disposal allows heavy metals to leach into groundwater. Incineration makes hazardous material airborne. Acid baths are dangerous and cause water and soil contamination. And to ensure exported materials are handled properly, a lot of wastes are recyclable. So here are some advantages of recycling, and some of them are asset recovery, reduction of need for landfills, reduction of junk and clutters, resale and reuse, creation of jobs and recycle. And the last one, the best method to decrease the problems caused by e-waste is to recycle them. And some of the process done during recycle are disassembling and dismantling is the systematic removal of components, parts, or a group of parts, sub-assembly from protecting waste. And the upgrading it includes commutating and separation of material using mechanical, physical, or metallurgical processing. Methods to recover materials include ingredient and refining, and all the materials are recovered by recycling. Uh, Now I'm concluding my words and handing over to Jasim for the offroll section. Thank you.
Hi, I am Jasim from Team Technocrats. So you might got some idea about e-waste management. So why e-waste management? Growth in the IT and communication enhanced the usage of electronic equipment and faster upgradation. And new innovations in electronic product force users to discard old electronic products quickly. So hence the disposal of e-wastes and these solid wastes. This consists of metal, plastic, CRTs, and also some valuable metal like copper, silver, etc. This can be required scientifically, and presence of toxic substances like mercury, lithium, arsenic, etc. should be dismantled and processed. But avoiding it causes serious problem to environment and the animal and plant beings. When the electronic devices are not properly disposed, this substance can seep into soil and get into groundwater, mainly mercury, lead, and cadmium causing groundwater quality. And also computer wastes pollute underwater, and also acids can be obtained from melting computer chips, causing acidification of soil. These wastes also produces toxic fumes and gases, causing air pollution. The acid solved in water causes increased pH level or acidity, causing acidic rain. This causes serious health problems and destruction of historic buildings. Like Taj Mahal's white marble is changing to yellow because of this acidic rain. It's an example for this. This releasing of harmful gases to air makes the future generation to live in a pathetic condition. So we must need a e-waste management system and a plan because, as you know, it is the fastest growing portion of municipal waste. According to statistics, we are generating more than 40 million tons of e-waste in a year, and only 27% of this is recycled. In 2019, approximately 54 million metric tons were produced worldwide, and leading country based on e-waste generation was China. But India is also there in fifth position, and now in 2021, India is in third position generating e-waste. So it shows our lack of e-waste management strategies and policies. So as much as it is increasing, the health problems and serious issues arise. So as we conclude our words and presentation, we want to remind you that e-waste has emerged as one of the fastest growing waste stream worldwide. So practice, reuse, recycle, and be aware that these are the steps more beneficial than simple disposal. That it doesn't give anything for simple disposal. We must reuse or recycle. So there is no loss, only we get the profit. And also the manufacturers can use nature-friendly raw materials, and the people must be aware of this. So the government should take steps to reduce e-waste disposal. Government can give awareness and proper support. So we conclude our presentation by reminding you about a serious issue faced by our future and environment. Nowadays, everyone has knowledge, and so we can believe this serious problem could be solved tomorrow, and so must do our part in this changing world. So consumers are the key to better management of wastes. So say no to electronic waste for life and nature. Thank you very much, my dear friends, and take care.
Thank you, Scott Technocrats. Well, that was a robust presentation from the team Technocrats. Thank you. So it's time for the Q&A session. Team, please answer the questions. Every members from the squad could answer the questions, and please don't take much time. Answer the questions fast. Judges, please move on with your questions.
Thank you. Thank you, team. That was a fabulous presentation. My question is a pretty simple question. I want your pure suggestion on this with the innovations, with the technologies you have, with the knowledge you have. Given that you have given the government of you have been you are in the power government of India, what all the measurements will you do to reduce the production of e-waste and also the increase the recycling procedure of e-waste? You have given the government, you are in the power government. Imagine yourself as PMs and CMs or all that ministries all and off. Imagine, and what would you do? I want this complete pure on suggestion with the knowledge you have with the technology. Please go on. I think my question is pretty clear.
Clear. So, if I am under the power, I will initiate different awareness programs to the people around us to give the knowledge about this serious issue and in schools too. And we can make some recycling hubs or something like that for collecting the electronic wastes and make recycling it.
Okay, I think that's it. Is any other team members willing to answer the question?
And we can buy less. Buying thing we simply do not need is probably the biggest cause of e-waste.
Okay. Okay, thank you. That's it from my side. Fawad, do you have any question? Go on, please.
How will we as a citizen dispose e-waste? What are the measures that we can take? Is my question clear? Am I audible?
Yes, it's clear. I think we can do better. That's waste management. Reason because it's most of parts is plastic or metal like that. If we burn that, it's also contaminate the air. So we collect all of them and place it a recycling hubs side that.
Okay, thank you.
Well, I think that's the end of the session from the team technocrats on the topic e-waste management. Thank you, team, for your entire support. You have done a good job and a well-built presentation throughout. Assuming that your squad will be there till the end of the program, keep your team spirit right and move on. Thank you, team technocrats. Now, I would like to call the team Arrogance. Team Arrogance representative, are you here? Please unmute your mic.
Yes,
Team Arrogance. Okay. Please introduce your team. Representative, please introduce your team.
Okay, 1 minute. Good evening, everyone. The team Arrogance is here now. Things all are excited to know about her topic. With heartily pleasure, let me
Sorry, excuse
her.
me. Excuse me. Sorry for the interruption. Your presentation is bit yellow. I think your eye protection mode is on. Please turn it off. Is it that? Or is it only me? For me, it's visible yellow. Yellowish, is everyone yellowish
Yes,
for that?
it's yellowish for everyone. Please turn off your reading mode or something like that.
Is it open now?
Your screen is not visible right now. Please represent it.
Okay, 1 minute.
Or if any other members could take over, go on. It's up
Take
to you.
over or replace the presentation. Please move on.
Nizam, please present the screen. Okay.
Excuse me, representative, are you starting the presentation or introducing yourself? Is this the part of the presentation?
Good evening, everyone. The team Arrogance is here now. Thinks all are excited to know about her topic. With a kindly pleasure, let me introduce my power team members Nida, Nihal, Rima, Nizam, Rabin, Naufal, Nandana, Nafla, Rishil, Nawaf, and me, Roshni. Let me hand over the intro section to Rima. Welcome, Rima.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Prima from the team Arrogance. And today we're going to do a presentation on the topic robotics and automation. Robotics.
Excuse me. Excuse me. Sorry for the interruption. Presenter, could you please make the screen to landscape mode? Could you turn on the auto rotation and turn it to landscape mode?
Please tilt your phone. Please tilt your phone. Okay, then continue.
Please continue. Please continue. We are visible over there. Please continue. Please don't waste your time. Rima, you can continue.
Okay. So what is this robotics and automation? Let's break it down into two words first. Robotics and then automation. Robotics, it looks like a cool word, huh? Well, yeah, it's quite cool, not because of its name, but because you make and work with cool stuffs here, like robots. Okay, let me ask you one question. What is it that comes to your mind immediately after hearing the word robot? Is it something that does your task, that obeys you, or that can perform stuff that we humans cannot? A robot is a machine which is programmed to move and perform certain tasks automatically. And robotics is a field of engineering that deals with the design and application of robots and the use of computer for their manipulation and processing. Here, robots are used in industries for speeding up the manufacturing process. Okay, now let's move on to the next word, automation. You must have heard the word automatic. What does it mean? In simple words, an automatic device means that it can work with minimum or no human intervention. Similarly, automation means the act of implementing the control of equipment with advanced technology, usually involving electronic hardware and robotic equipment. The main motto of automation is to reduce human work. It is an outcome of the varied application of robotics. Okay, let's make it brief. Automation and robotics engineering is the use of control systems and information technologies to reduce the need for human work in the production of goods and services. In the scope of industrialization, automation is a step beyond mechanization. Now let's go and dig a little deeper on this topic and have an elaborate section next by Nandana. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Good evening all. I'm discuss about what is robotics. Robotics is an interdisciplinary field that integrates computer science and engineering. And what is the purpose of robotics? Robotics involves design, construction, operation, and use of robots that can help design machine for assistant humans. And where the robotics is used, robotics integrates field of mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, information engineering, mechanics, electronics, bioengineering, computer engineering, control engineering, and also software engineering. The application of robotics, military robots, industrial robots, agricultural robots, and medical robots. And the disadvantage of robotics, it led humans to lose their jobs. They need constant power. They're restricted to their programming. They perform relatively few tasks. They have no emotions. It impacts human interaction. They require expertise to set up. They are expensive to install and run. And the advantage of robotics are the robotics develop machine that can substitute for human and replicate human. The robotics are used in dangerous environments, including inspection of radioactive and the bomb detection, also in deactivation. Certain robots require user input to operate. It will robot function is autonomously. Then the history of talk about in 1948, Norbert Wiener formulated the principle of cybernetics and the basis of practical robots. It fully autonomous. The robots only appeared in the second half of the 20th century, and the first digitally operated each programmable robot, the Unimate, it was installed in 1961 to lift a piece of metal from a die casting machine and they stuck them. And the commercially and industrially robots are widespread today. And it used to perform jobs more cheaply, more accurately, and more reliably than the humans using robotics. And so I hand you the next section for Rabin.
Thank you, Nandana, for calling me. So let's talk automation. What is automation? Why is automation? As you have seen from the slide, what is automation is? It is the creation and application of technologies to produce and deliver goods and services with minimal human interventions. It is also used in a many variety of companies, industries like automobile, transport, facilities, operation, etc. And there are also three types of automations, which are the first one is fixed automation. So what is fixed automation? Fixed automation are the type of automation in which they are configured to do a task, a single task, no matter what it is programmed to. And the second is programmable automation. In this, the automation services are controlled by any electronic signals, like a remote or a control panel or whatsoever. And then lastly, the flexible automation. Flexible automation are the high standard automated services right now, in which they are given 2 to 3 tasks at a time with accurate measurements and readings. And also it can also retool to do different tasks according to the person's need. Now let's talk about the advantages. So what are the uses of automation services? The first line is the first most important factor that every industry needs. That is reduction in production time. You can compare an automobile giant like Toyota and Rolls-Royce, and you can see what is the differences in the vehicle they produce every year. Secondly, increase in accuracy and repeatability. This is the most factor in which robots are more valuable than humans. They can increase accuracy, less errors, and repeatability because all they have to do is programmed and done by themselves. Less employee cost. Even though automation services cost a high, it is a single investment in which industries are more interested into doing them rather than hiring engineers or workers and pay them for the long term. Increased safety and higher volume production. Higher volume production is one of the major factors for a profit or a loss in a company. Now, we all know that a subject or a model always have two sides. It can have an advantage or a disadvantages. So now let's look at the negative sides. Less versatility and more pollution. We all know that machines make noises. It can lead to noise pollution. No matter how, even if they're electric, they create noises. And also to make the services, they require natural resources, which can lead to more pollution. Large initial investment. As I just said, it costs high for a machine to do the task. So industries always provide the high efficient robots or the automation services. Even though it costs a high, that's a disadvantage. Even though the work they do are more valuable for us. Increase in unemployment rate. This is one of the major crises India or the world is tackling right now. Low job opportunities right now, and it's also a nightmare that we can see the robots or automation services can eat up people's jobs. No matter what the industries are, automation in services and artificial intelligence, I can say, can eat up jobs. And unpredictable cost. Now I would call upon Rishil to explain the difference between robotics and automation and the conclusion for our presentation. Thank you. We are Team Arrogance.
Thank you, Rabin. Good evening. I'm Rishil from Arrogance. I'm here to talk about the difference between automation and robotics. Automation is the process of using physical machines, computer software, and other technologies to perform tasks that are usually done by humans. Robots are used to manage inventory and process orders in stores, supermarkets, and restaurants. And sensors are increasingly replacing or optimizing the use of the remaining human talent. Other sectors such as finance, banking, insurance are currently in thought of rapid automation. Next, robotics. Robotics is the process of designing, creating, and using robots to perform a certain task. Most robots you today are used to repetitive actions or jobs considered too dangerous for humans. Robots are also used in factories to build things like cars, candy bars, and electronics. Robots are now used in medicine for military tactics or finding objects underwater and to explore other planets. There are overlaps between these two areas, but they are not the same. Physical robots may be used in automation, but many robots are not created for automation. So, that brings me to the end of my presentation, and let me give you a summary of what we have been talking about over the last few minutes. Overall, from these topics, we came to know that robots are useful in many ways. For instance, it boosts economy. Therefore, having robots helps business owners to be competitive because robots can do jobs better and faster than humans can. The importance of implementing automation technology is the need of today's infrastructure project and construction firms in order to increase the productivity and good quality of work. So, this is what our topic looks like. And as Alec Rose said, the robots of the cartoon and the movies from the 1970s are going to be the reality of 2020s. Thank you all so much for listening and with patience and hope you all understand the idea. Have a good day, guys.
Well, thank you, Team Arrogance. That was a magnificent and unlagging presentation without any lagging from the team. Well done, Team Arrogance. So I assume it's the time for the Q&A session. So judges, please ask your questions to Team Arrogance.
Thank you, team. That was a pretty well presentation. Okay, initially, you have spoke a lot about robotics, automation, and bringing on the innovations into industries. Okay, keeping all those things aside, I want to get into a simple. I'm going to ask you a very simple question. I want a pretty good answer for. I'm expecting a pretty good answer for this. I think everyone has been. All have watched the movie that Robot Kunyappan, right? The movie acted by Suraj and all that. In that movie, there is a robot called Robot Kunyappan, and in the end, to the end of the movie, we get into that the actor, that is Suraj, get into an emotional touch with the robot as he assumes the robot as his son, and the robot repeats himself continuously that we do not have any feelings, we do not express any feelings, we cannot touch, we cannot feel that, all that thing stuff. Imagine a century or imagine a phase where the robots are got into that AI system where they can get the third sense of the human, where then can use the sense of the human beings, where the robots has been programmed with the AI, which in which they can understand, they can sense, they can feel as human being. What is that phase? How you describe that phase? How you describe that phase in the industrial way? Also, how you describe that phase overall globally? How they are going to help the corporative world or the industry or anything? How you are going to describe that phase? Where the robots get an AI programmed with the senses of humans they have.
Hello, sir. Actually, robots with AI are already present, like Sophia, a robot, which was launched in Saudi Arabia a few years back. Not only Sophia, there are currently 6 to 7 robots which have been programmed with feelings and consciousness. You can just check it out and you can be amazed how it can resemble a human in every way. Also, it's a nightmare that AI can take over or may take over the human civilization, just like we see in movies. mainly English movies. But it always doesn't mean that it can always lead to the negative way. It can also lead to a positive way where humans and robot can coexist peacefully.
Okay, thank you. That was not my exact question. Okay, thank you for that. And I would like to add on one thing. When Sophia was introduced, here Sophia's CEO and the maker of the Sophia, David Hansen, he said that when these robots will come into the action all over the world, like taking all the class. There, I think everyone is familiar about this two type of job: class job and mass job. When they take over the mass jobs, these people are going to depend on the robotics, right? How these people are going to depend on the robotics? They are going to operate on that. On how do you feel? How these people are going to get the wages? I think my question is clear.
Yes, sir, it's clear. Robot right now cannot. There are many types of robot in which a human can control, or some humans which cannot control. So it depends on how or which of the following will lead to the future, and mainly it will be the human-less robot. So in the future, we cannot question how it will be, or according to this current increasing rate of robots, is unpredictable. So
Okay,
I
thank
have
you.
no definite answer for this.
Okay, thank you. That's it from my side. Fawad, do you have any questions?
So, how robot helps in fighting?
Fawad, your voice is breaking down.
Robots in fighting against the pandemic?
Okay,
Is
I
it
think I
clear?
have got the question. Your voice is breaking down, but I have got the question. The question is how the robots is going to help in this pandemic, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the question.
Sir, our college has been given an example for how robots can help the pandemic. I don't remember what exactly the project name was, but it is a small example on what all things it can do in the pandemic, like medicine supply or many others.
Thank you. That was a pretty good example answer. Thank you. That was Humboldt robot. The team was Humboldt. Okay, thank you. That's it from the judges. Shamin, you can go on.
Okay, thank you, Team Arrogance. That was a thunderous Q&A session from the Team Arrogance. Well, thank you, Team Arrogance, for your good presentation. Hoping your presentations and your interest and your support and your team, keep your team spirit till the end of this program, MILEN 5.0. All the best. Thank you. Now, moving on to the last and final squad, Team Quest Pirates. Representative, please unmute your mic and report.
Yes, we are ready.
Okay, please introduce your team.
Okay. Hello, everyone. A warm welcome and a very good evening to one and all. I'm Aisha Jumaila. Today, we, the members of Squad 2 Quest Pirates, are here to deliver a detailed presentation on electric vehicles. First of all, I'd like to introduce the speakers and the researchers of this presentation. Main speakers in this whole session will be Ms. Fatima Fida, Ms. Balsan M, Mr. Musab, and myself. I'd also like to introduce the others who contributed a lot for this presentation. Ms. Julaila, Mr. Bibin, Mr. Altaf, Ms. Hiba, Mr. Hanan, and Mr. Fairuz. Now, let's take a glance at what are we going to cover today. Here it is. We are going to cover an introduction to electric vehicles, or EVs. What is an electric vehicle? When did it found, and how it works? Renewable energy, greenhouse effect, global warming, which is environment and electric vehicle effects. Degrading sources of fossil fuel, electric vehicles, and environment will also be covered. A comparison of fuel and electric vehicles with the working of electric vehicles. Different types of electric vehicles, means taken to improve production and usage of electric vehicles. Introduction to electric buses in India, Tesla and its effects, also future of electric vehicles. Next. Yes, here we. So what is an EV or electric vehicle and how it works and why it is the coolest innovation in transport industry? Electric vehicles are powered by an electric motor rather than a traditional petrol or diesel engine, which make it called electric vehicle. These motors are powered by rechargeable batteries that can be charged by common household electricity or by external sources of electricity. An electric vehicle may be powered through a collector system by electricity form of vehicle, which can be in different ways, such as solar panels, fuel cars, or electric generator to convert fuel to electricity, which we call hybrid cars. So let's take a glance at how an electric vehicle works. Here is the detailed working. Major parts. All electric vehicles have an electric motor instead of an internal combustion or IC engine. The battery provides the electricity from an outer external source of electricity. Charge port to charge from the battery pack. DC or DC converter acts like a transformer. Sorry for the interruption. Okay. Onboard charger takes the incoming AC electricity and converts it into DC for charging. Monitors all the battery characteristics such as voltage, temperature, etc. Power electronics controller manage flow of electrical energy. Thermal system or cooling system maintains the proper temperature inside the engine. So let's take a look at how electric cars affect environment. Yes, emits only less greenhouse gases or air pollutants than a fuel powered like CO2, CO, etc. Improves air quality. It improves air quality in surrounding. EVs are mechanically similar, which reduces the use and disposal of engine oil. Instead, fuel engine is so complicated because of the IC engine. EVs removes emission from the air, saving pedestrians and cyclists from breathing in dangerous gases, which is the society's biggest concern now, and we all know about Delhi pollution. Next we have refueling or recharging can be accomplished at home or work, like it is a casual thing, instead of going to petrol or diesel controls. Electric motors are quiet because there is no internal combustion engine. We can make a lot of noise while starting and driving, hence helping in noise pollution. Operating costs can be less, and we do not need much maintenance control over the instead of fuel engine. Here is a fact, that is, the Ford Focus electricity made up of recycled materials, and the padding is made up out of bio-based material. Do you know that? It's pretty cool, right? So I'll handle over the session to Ms. Heba.
Hello everyone, I am Fatima Fida. I will be handling this session. First of all, I will talk about comparison of electric vehicles and traditional or fuel vehicles. So, let's get started. During combustion, fuel vehicles emit more carbon dioxide and other harmful gases which pollute our environment. But electric vehicles have no exhaust emission, so it reduces pollution and also quieter than fuel vehicles. Fuel vehicles are heavier in weight because it have many moving parts, whereas electric vehicles are lighter in weight. Electric vehicles tend to have a lower center of gravity that makes them less likely to roll over, and also it may make them safer in collision. Fuel vehicles with IC engines, engine maintenance can be expensive because they require engine oil, coolant, etc. But electric vehicles doesn't have IC engines, so it has low cost and also it has lower chance of explosion. Electric vehicles are more efficient than fuel vehicles. Now, let's move on to the next topic, and that is let's move on to the next topic. Means taken to improve production and usage of electric vehicles. Significant growth of electric vehicles require investment and improvement in battery and construction technology. Battery should be survive both hot and cold temperatures to extend battery life. Vehicle materials cost and further driving range can be achieved by reducing battery weight and size. Cost of battery can be reduced by reducing its number of manufacturing steps and their complexity. The promise of efficient, low cost, and long range electric vehicles will only come through improvement in battery manufacturing technology. So, let me conclude my presentation, and the next section will be handled by Ms. Balsan. Please.
Hello everyone. So we can start our section. So my first topic is different types of electric vehicles. There are mainly three types of electric vehicles. First one is battery electric vehicles, BEVs. They are fully electric vehicles with rechargeable batteries, and the speciality of these is that if we take an DC charger, then it can be charged only in 1 hour, it can get fully charged. But as in case of AC charger, it takes around 8 hours. Next one is hybrid electric vehicles. Hybrid electric vehicles are those which are powered by gasoline and also electricity. Some of the examples are Honda Civic Hybrid and etc. Next one is plug-in hybrid electric vehicles. These are type of hybrid vehicles which can recharge the battery through both regenerative braking and external electricity source. Some of the examples are KV Volt and etc. Now let's move on to next section, that introduction of electric buses in India. Electric buses are those which run on clean energy and offer premium public transportation options. Now we can see two models of electric buses in India. First one is Goldstone Airbus K7, which is India's first electric bus launched by Himachal Pradesh Transport Corporation. And next one is Ashok Leyland Versa Eevee. That's all I conclude. And next, I would like to welcome Ms. Ab to handle next section. That's all.
Hi, hi, I'm Misab, and now I'm going to talk about Tesla, which is one of the world's fastest growing electric vehicle production company, which was started by Elon Musk and his co-friends in 2003. Its main mission is to accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy by helping in the reduction of pollutions in the form of gases, noise, and many more. Tesla believes in the faster the world stops relying on fossil fuels and moves towards a zero emission future, which means, as said before, as there is no emission of carbon dioxide gases, which helps in the reduction of air pollution. To create an entire sustainable energy ecosystem, Tesla also manufactures a unique set of energy solutions. This is just a beginning of Tesla, and it continues to make products accessible and affordable to more and more people. Now, here is a comparison of a Tesla truck known as Tesla Semi, which is running on electricity, with a normal diesel truck that runs on diesel on the basis of their acceleration and efficiency. Here, we can see that the Tesla semi truck could reach a speed of 60 miles per hour in just a time span of 5 seconds, whereas the other you can see is slow, and also it takes 15 seconds to reach that speed. It is a huge difference, as we all know. Now let's talk about the future with these electric vehicles. The revolution of the electric vehicles is speeding up, but it can only go so far without the necessary infrastructure and technology. And when we think about the shift from fossil fuels to all into electric, we can already imagine a bright and more optimistic, eco-friendly. Imagine how better our life can be. And also, there are solar vehicles in which the main fuel is from sun, which is of no expense for all of us. And except the cost of solar panels, board, and its some components. Now let's come to the conclusion of our topic, electric vehicles, by the words of the man himself, Elon Musk. He said, "Some people like change. You need to embrace change if the alternative is
You
a
have 30
disaster."
seconds.
Hope you all understood well. Thank you and have a nice day. Thank you. And that's all.
Well, that was a precise, top-notch presentation from the team Quest Pirates. Well done, Quest Pirates. That was our inch perfect timing. So let's move on to the Q&A session. Judges, please throw up your questions.
Okay, thank you. That was a cool presentation, and you all got the common DP also well. Pretty cool. Okay, fine. I will trigger you the first question. My question is pretty simple. Okay, in the traditional vehicle, when we are traveling to a point A to point B, we can refill the petroleum or the fuel which is needed to run the engine. We can fill it from the petrol stations, pumps, and all that, and we can also carry in the bottle. But in case of electric vehicle, if the battery has shut down at one point, we cannot carry the power required to refill the battery. What you're going to do at that point? You can only refill the charge at a particular point, right? What you are going to do at that point? You cannot even move a bit without any charge. What you're going to do? You cannot carry the charge in the bottle as you carry the petrol.
There are many alternatives, as we can see, like the hybrid vehicles when they run on fuel, and when the fuel is not used at the time, when the motor is rotating, the battery gets recharged, right?
No, my pure question is dependent on completely charged vehicle, battery vehicle, not on hybrid vehicle. The first option you have.
I'm coming to the point.
Okay.
Okay, so in electric vehicles, there can also be a secondary battery. While running on the first primary battery, the secondary also gets charged when the motor is running freely without electricity. So at this time, the secondary battery can be charged. And when it is charged fully, or the primary battery is finished, the secondary battery can be used. And when the secondary battery is being used, the vice versa happens for primary battery, and hence conserving the fuel.
Okay, thank you. And I have one more question for you. Bringing on electric vehicle to on road. Okay, bringing on electric vehicle on road, which will it create more inappropriate with comparing into the traditional vehicle? Example, if I'm giving on bringing on electric vehicle, like bringing on Tesla, it's also not only electric vehicle, it's also an automated vehicle, right? Tesla is not only an electric vehicle, it is also an automated vehicle with autopilot system and all that stuff. We have gone through many trolls right now. Okay, bringing on electric vehicle into the market or into the ground system of countries like India, will it become an asset to change the future in innovations or something like that, bringing on new technology, bringing on new era in the countries like India, which is under development, which is not completely developed, which is under development, bringing on such innovations in the nations, can it be helped with the appropriate manner, which could be the reason to be bringing on?
Yes, as answer to your question, India is a greatly developing country, right? And bringing an electric car will not make India better in just 1 or 2 months because according to Carnally, India needs 5 more years to own a good popularity in electric cars. Also, electric cars need a very great ownership price, which is not feasible for India. So that's the answer for the question.
Okay, thank you. That's it from my side. Fawad, do you have any questions?
What are the shortcomings of electric vehicles? Was it clear? I mean, was my voice audible?
Can you please repeat the question?
What are the shortcomings of electric vehicles?
Yeah, the shortcomings of electric vehicles can be said like the fault from its, as it is a lightweight car, it can be sometimes hurt more badly in an accident rather than a powerful car, I guess.
Also, it is not convenient for long tours, and its power capacity or DC charger is needed to at least charging time is 1 hour for DC and 8 hours for AC. So that can be a shortcome.
Okay, thank you.
Well, that was the side from Team Quest Pirates. Well defined and accomplished your tasks. Well done, Team Quest Pirates. So this is an end to our fierce and ignited task 2. Is my screen visible? So this is the ending of our session. I welcome our guests to give some suggestions on the presentations and some motivations too.
Okay, thank you. I think I'm visible and audible well. Okay.
Yes.
Initially, as a judge, I have 2 point of view with this presentation. Initially, I will give the executive member as an executive, as a secretary of the IEEE MESB. That was really fantastic and above expectation. I would really appreciate that, everyone. I want everyone to clap down in the chat box. It was really above expectation from all the 5 squads. A big congratulations to all. Oh, thank you, sir. Big congratulations to all. It was really, really above expectation because I didn't expect the way you have all presented over here, the way you conveyed your topic, the way you presented your PPT in this short span of the time. Even you were going with the exam timetables, completing the exams on the day, and getting back with buckling up the shoes and coming back completely into this focus. That was really amazing, and that was really, really amazing, and it is worth appreciable. And I would repeat the same. It was over the expectation. I didn't expect this much coordination in the East team. When I was going through the WhatsApp group of every sub squads, I would see that energy, that power, that spark you all have to complete this task and come into the position where you all needed it. Right. That was very enthusiastic and really appreciable. Thank you for this. And this is what we all aimed as an executive members. This is what we aimed as the committee of MILEN 5.0. And this is very, very, very well done and stunning performance by everyone. Okay, thank you. That is a perspective of as an executive member. Now let's come to the job as a judge member. I have noticed a pretty long, pretty well mistakes from your side. There was many errors from your side while presenting your PPTs, while presenting your presentation. I will list it up very quickly. If I want all the squad reps, go back to the squad rep WhatsApp group and tell everyone to rejoin if someone has left. Because I'm telling over here common things which you all made some mistake. So it will be very helpful for you to for the further presentation. It might be IEEE, it might be a project presentation, it might be in the college syllabus stuff and all that. Okay, and I want everyone over here, okay, in the Google Meet, not in the WhatsApp. Please come back, okay. Initially, I'll give a step by step. Initially, when I noticed the PPT, the few I will not name the squads, but 2 to 3 I have found 1 or 2 squad PPT was I will write it as 80% right, means 8 out of 10. That was 8 out of 10, and remaining 3 was only 6 out of 10. I will say why. When you put a PPT, remember every time when you present a PPT, when you make a PPT, always think that you should only put the points in that. Do not put the definition or explanation in the PPT. That's wrong. Do not put the explanation or the definition in the PPT. Wrong. Our teachers, the teachers who teach us as a syllabus, they put it on. Why? Because their purpose of there is teaching. There are two type of teaching. You even we will not listen the teacher. We could even read the PPT, but our purpose is not going to teach someone, right? We are presenting it on. Do not compare your PPT with the teacher's PPT, because teachers are doing that. If someone is not listening to me, at least he could read that, or he could write down what is over there in the PPT. So not that first point. Do not ever do in the PPT. Do not fill the PPT with your content. Just put it in the points. Just put it in the points and explain each points very elaborately. Okay, if I'm saying, and if I read out a point and explain that point very elaborately, do not put the explanation in the PPT. It looks very weird, and this is not something which is done to be in the higher level presentation. Do not use higher explanations or much explanation. Don't fill the PPT with your content. Okay, put on images, videos, and that is understandable, but do not put the contents in the maximum. And I have noticed one another thing. In any PPT, I haven't noticed the date. If you're presenting something, if you're presenting a topic, if you're presenting in a seminar or a project, it is compulsory to put the date of the presentation. Today is, I think, 3rd of Feb 2021. Put the date on the first page of the PPT slide. I haven't noticed, and I don't know if I missed anything. In the 5 squad, I have noticed even single PPT has the date on it. You should put a date on the presentation. Even you can put on your name. Yeah, I have also noticed that the names of the presenters is in 3rd or 2nd slide. That's okay, completely okay. If you could put in the first slide itself, it's perfect. But if you put in the 2nd or 3rd slide, it's also okay. But the date should come on the first slide when you're going to present it, because it's very making it is ethical, right? If you are doing a presentation, you have prepared for the same presentation. It makes an understand. It makes a justifiable thing for putting that presentation on the date. Put the date on the PPT. Initial, put a date when you are going to present it. Put a date on the PPT. And one more thing, always put the page number on the PPT. There was 1-2 slides which has the page number. That too very small, which is invisible for inactive eyes. I should put a microscope on, or put the date on the PPT. I think, is my points very clear to you? Could you please comment on the chat box? Is my points very clear to you? Is understandable? Okay. Yeah, put the page numbers. Don't forget. Please note it down. These are the things which you has to be very clear when you prepare a PPT next time. Put it very clearly the page numbers on the PPT. These 3 things is the initial things I have noticed in very as much as mistake. There's no date in a single PPT. You should put the page numbers, and also reduce the content to very short. I would say very short. Reduce the content into very short. Put only the points. Do not convey everything what you have to say on the PPT. You are not going to teach students in the classroom. You are taking a presentation to your level, right? When you teach, you are teaching to lower level students, right? Your teacher is higher. She or he has done PhD or MTech. She is teaching to students who is doing the BTech, right? You are speaking. You are making a presentation. You are speaking to your peers, your level students. So there is no need of explanation in the PPT. Put it in very single points and explain that points. These are initially 3 points which I focus on the PPT. And one more thing, in presenting the PPT, put it in order. I didn't find, I will appreciate 1 or 2 teams like Pegasus has done it very right. And I have got that, sorry, I'm not, Eccentric. The team Eccentric has put it also very right. Put it in orders. Means presentation should come it in order. If you're taking a topic, if I'm speaking on a topic, introduction should come first, right? And put it in that, also put that PPT in an order. That was very clear to me if someone is coming in between. Yeah, if I'm getting late into my session, if I came in between, then also I should grasp, yeah, this much topic is covered and this is to be covered. That should get an idea from the presenter and the PPT itself. So put it in the very adjustable and very convenient manner so that it can be easily grasped. Okay, that's it. My suggestions in the PPT, and yeah, always look into a light color. Okay, I'm not completely disagreeing with that point, because the color selections of the people's change by the mindset of that. Keep it simple. Yeah, animation and also the dark one. Don't use dark colors alone. Put it in the light colors because it might be visible for many. Yeah, okay, it's according to people who chooses the color. That's fine, but look to use the light colors more. Okay, that's a common suggestion. That's not a mistake. That's a common suggestion. Okay, that's it from my side of the PPT and the presentation stuff. You all have done a common mistake with the presentation. You didn't catch up with the last one. I clearly didn't understand what you have done because if I'm completing a presentation, if I'm group presentation, there are 3 members presenting in a topic. If I have stopped in one point, you should pick the second person who is presenting. You should pick from that point. Okay, you should not directly jump into the next point. Pick from that back point. Like you have to pick it. Yeah, pick it from that point. So it will be very easily for the person who is sitting in front to catch up with that tune. Because if one person is missing out and the second person is coming up, there is a mislag in that tune, right? So it will be very helpful for the person who is visible to catch up that tune. So pick it up from the last person who has spoken up. Okay, pick it up from there. Don't go over deep. Just pick it up and come to your topic. Okay, that's one more thing. And the languages, and it was, yeah, it is depends on the people, the language, the fluency, the language use, and all that stuff. And lastly, the teamwork was fabulous. I have no comment on that because it is depends on the matters, how the team members execute into that, how the team members contribute in that. So team was very essential. That all the teamwork you had over here initially when we are out at this task, and that was very inful and giving into that, coming into more into the team, more into the contribution, more into the execution. That was well, and the teamwork was fabulous. That's it. And all over this, and I would at last I will concluding this one. Initially, giving the points, judging this one was not pretty simple. It was quite tough because I said all the squad has a very tough competition with this. When you get that result, you will come to know about that. All the squad has given a tough competition onto it, and at last, coming up with this, I have suggested many errors you have committed over here. We haven't reduced many points on it, but this was your first experience, I think so. For many, this was your first experience, and I would openly say, for my first experience wasn't this much great. You were really great, and if you could go further and further, we get into more opportunities. You will get further, and will come up with new innovations in that. And all the best. We'll get into this all more presentation things and more experience into that. And this will be a great boost up with your confidence and all that. And that's it from my side. Over to you, Fawad. And I will comment. I haven't read the chat box. I will read down and I'll comment at last. Fawad, over to you.
ഓക്കെ, ഒട്ടുമിക്ക കാര്യങ്ങളും മുഷറഫ് തന്നെ പറഞ്ഞിട്ടുണ്ട്. അപ്പൊ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് പ്രത്യേകിച്ച് ഒന്നും പറയാനൊന്നുമില്ല. നിങ്ങൾ ഈ ഒരു ഷോർട്ട് സ്പാനിൽ നിങ്ങളെ കൊണ്ട് മാക്സിമം ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റിയ കാര്യങ്ങൾ നിങ്ങൾ ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ട്. നല്ല രീതിയിൽ തന്നെ പ്രിപ്പയർ ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ട്.
നല്ല ക്രാക്ക് ഉണ്ട്.
ഫവാദ്, എന്റെ വോയിസ് നല്ല മുറിട്ട്.
കുഴപ്പമില്ല, ഞാൻ ഗ്രൂപ്പിലൂടെ കൺവേ ചെയ്താൽ മതിയോ?
ഓക്കേടാ, ഒന്നും മനസ്സിലായില്ല എന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ ഓമനക്കുട്ടി ഈ ഗ്രൂപ്പിലൂടെ പറഞ്ഞു. പിന്നെ വേറെ ചാറ്റ് ബോക്സ് ഇങ്ങനെ വായിക്കുമ്പോ ഐ ഗോട്ട് സംതിങ് റിയലി തിങ്. ഓക്കെ, ഈ സജഷൻസ് ഒക്കെ പറയുന്നത് ഞങ്ങൾ വലിയ എക്സ്പെർട്സ് ആയതൊന്നും അല്ല കേട്ടോ. ഞങ്ങളും പഠിക്കുന്ന സ്റ്റുഡൻസ് ആണ്. പക്ഷെ നിങ്ങളെക്കാളും കുറച്ച് ഒരു നാനോ സെന്റിമീറ്റർ കുറച്ച് തോനെ അറിയുന്നതുകൊണ്ട് മാത്രമാണ്. അതുകൊണ്ട് നിങ്ങൾ എന്ത് ചെയ്യുക, try to rectify this whole thing, the errors you have committed or the suggestions you have got on. Okay, ഇത് റെക്ടിഫൈ ചെയ്യാൻ നോക്കുക. പിന്നെ ടൈം കുറെ 1.25 മണിക്കൂറോളായി, ഇനി നീട്ടി വലിക്കുന്നില്ല. ലാസ്റ്റ് ആയിട്ട് പറയാനുള്ളത് ഇതിന്റെ റിസൾട്ടും കാര്യങ്ങളും വരും. ഇത് സത്യം പറയാണ് പോയിന്റ് ഇട്ട് ഞാൻ തന്നെ എങ്ങനെ കരുതിയിട്ടിരുന്നു പോയിന്റ് ഇടാൻ. കാരണം നിങ്ങളെ പോയിന്റ് ഇടൽ ഭയങ്കര ബുദ്ധിമുട്ടായിരുന്നു. നല്ല ടഫ് കോമ്പറ്റീഷൻ ആയിരുന്നു. അപ്പൊ അടുത്ത ടാസ്കും ഉടനെ വരും. അപ്പൊ ഈ സ്പിരിറ്റും ഇതിനേക്കാൾ കൂടുതൽ സ്പിരിറ്റ് അടുത്ത ടാസ്കിലോട്ട് കൊണ്ടുവരാം. എന്തായാലും മെമ്പർഷിപ്പ് ഗ്രൂപ്പില് എല്ലാവരും നിങ്ങളെ കഴിഞ്ഞ ടാസ്ക് കഴിഞ്ഞ പോലെ തന്നെ എല്ലാവരും നിങ്ങളെ സജഷൻസും കാര്യങ്ങളൊക്കെ പറയും. പിന്നെ വേറെ ഒന്ന് ഞാൻ നോട്ടീസ് ചെയ്ത് ത്രൂ ഔട്ട് ദ പ്രസന്റേഷൻ നടക്കുമ്പോഴല്ല, അതായത് പ്രിപ്പയർ ചെയ്യുന്ന സമയത്ത് നിങ്ങൾക്ക് വേണ്ട റിസോഴ്സ് നിങ്ങളുടെ സ്ക്വാഡിലുണ്ട്. അതായത് ഞാൻ സ്ക്വാഡിന്റെ പേരും ഞാൻ പറയുന്നില്ല. നിങ്ങൾക്ക് വേണ്ട റിസോഴ്സസ് നിങ്ങളെ സ്ക്വാഡിലുണ്ട്. പക്ഷെ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് യൂസ് ചെയ്യാൻ മിസ്സായി പോകുന്നുണ്ടോ എന്നൊരു സംശയം എനിക്ക് വരുന്നുണ്ട്. കാരണം നിങ്ങളിൽ 10-11 മെമ്പേഴ്സ് സ്ക്വാഡിലുണ്ട്. മറ്റേ ഈ 1000 തെങ്ങുള്ള നായ്ക്ക് പല്ലുകുത്താൻ ഇറക്കില്ല എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞ അവസ്ഥ ആക്കി പോകരുത്. കാരണം നിങ്ങൾക്ക് അത്രയും റിസോഴ്സസ് അവിടെ ഉണ്ട്, അത്രയും മെമ്പേഴ്സ് അവിടെ ഉണ്ട്. അപ്പൊ എന്ത് ചെയ്യരുത്, ആ റിസോഴ്സസ് മിസ്യൂസ് അല്ല, യൂസ് ചെയ്യാതെ പോകരുത്. അപ്പൊ എന്ത് ചെയ്യണം, യൂസ് ചെയ്യും. അത് മാക്സിമം റിസോഴ്സസ് യൂസ് ചെയ്യും കേട്ടോ. അതൊരു ജസ്റ്റ് സജഷൻ ആണ്, പ്യുവർ സജഷൻ ആണ്. അത് ചില സ്ക്വാഡ് നന്നായി യൂസ് ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ട്, ചില സ്ക്വാഡുകൾ അതും തീരെ യൂസ് ചെയ്യുന്നില്ല. അങ്ങനെ അത്ര ഈഗർ ആയിട്ട് അത് ഇറങ്ങി ചെല്ലുന്നില്ല. അത് എനിക്ക് ഞാൻ ജഡ്ജ് ചെയ്തോടത്തുള്ള പ്രശ്നമാണോ എന്ന് മനസ്സിലാവുന്നില്ല. എന്തായാലും അതും കൂടെ റെക്ടിഫൈ ചെയ്യാൻ നോക്കുക. അപ്പൊ ഓൾ ദി ബെസ്റ്റ് ആൻഡ് കൺഗ്രാറ്റുലേഷൻസ് ടു ഓൾ ദി മെമ്പേഴ്സ്, ഓൾ ദി സ്ക്വാഡ് മെമ്പേഴ്സ് ആൻഡ് എവ്രി വൺ. അടുത്ത ടാസ്ക് ഉടനെ വരും. ഓക്കെ, ബൈ. യു ക്യാൻ സൈൻ ഓഫ്.
Okay, thank you from the team. Thank you from the judges, especially from the squads. Keep the spirit entire till the program. Thank you, executive members, event coordinators, everyone. Thank you and have a nice day. Thank you.